Hello everyone. In this lecture we will study about SAP Debugger. In any technology, debugging is very important concept because you can only find the errors with the help of debugger only. Now what is SAP Debugger? SAP Debugger is the part of ABAP workbench which allows us to detect and find the errors and which allows us to correct the errors. SAP Debugger is the part of ABAP workbench which allows us to detect and find the errors and which allows us to correct the errors. Now what we will do, we will analyze the programs in the debugging mode and we will see the various functions in the debugging mode. Suppose I am going for transaction code SC38, which is the transaction code for the ABAP editor. Now this is suppose we will check for already created program, that is that doc_display_1. I am displaying the program. Now in this program we will analyze this in debugging mode. In SAP we have two ways of debugging. What is the first way? Put the breakpoint on any executable statement and the program execution will automatically stops at that point. What is the second way? We can debug the code with the help of /h transaction code. In SAP we have two ways of debugging. Put the breakpoint on any executable statement and the program execution will automatically stops at that point. But the second way, we can debug the code with the help of /h. Now see. What is the first way? Put the breakpoint on any executable statement. Now suppose I am putting the breakpoint at this executable statement. So put the cursor here, put the breakpoint. This is saying session breakpoint was set. Now we will execute this program. I am providing the input. I am executing the program. Now we are inside the debugging mode and the program execution will automatically stops at that point where I have put the breakpoint. Now I am exiting from the debugger. Now we will check for the second method of the debugging. Again go to SC38 transaction code, display the program and delete the breakpoint by right clicking on this, delete session breakpoint. Execute the program, provide the input. Now we will go to the debugging mode with the help of second method, that is /h. Enter. Now it is saying debugging switch is on. Now execute the program. Now we are again inside the debugging mode. Now in SAP we have two ways of debugging. You can put the breakpoint on any executable statement and the execution will automatically stops at that point. What is the second way? You can debug the code with the help of /h. Now what we will do, we will explore the various things in the debugging mode. Again I am going for ABAP editor, displaying the program, put the breakpoint on the executable statement, executing the program, providing the input, again executing the program. Now I am inside the debugging mode. Now in SAP we have total four execution keys: F5, F6, F7 and F8. We have total 4 execution keys: F5, F6, F7 and F8. F5 is for step-by-step execution, F6 is for line-by-line execution, F7 is for return and F8 is for continuous execution. In SAP we have 4 execution keys: F5, F6, F5, F6, F7, F8. F5 is for step-by-step execution, F6 is for line-by-line execution, F7 is for return and F8 is for continuous execution. Now we will check these 4 keys, or we will check how to debug the code with the help of these 4 keys. Now F5 is for step-by-step execution. See, in this current program, this select query is a step which will allows us to fetch the data from VBAK table. This select query is one step in which we are fetching data from VBAP table. So we will execute these select queries with the help of F5 because this is the step. So double click on this internal table. Now this internal table has 0 number of records and it has 4 number of columns. Now if I am pressing F5, now see, this part is executed and in this internal table we have 1 number of record. When I am double clicking on this internal table, now this internal table has 1 number of record. Now I am again going for desktop 3. Now I am again executing this step. Now if I am pressing F5 at this step, so now this internal table has 0 number of record. Now if I am pressing F5, now this internal table has 1 number of record. So again this step is executed. Now this is F5. F5 is for step by step execution. Now I am again exiting from the debugger. I am again entering into SC38 transaction code, executing the program, providing the input. Now I am again executing the program. Now we have checked for the results of these statements with the help of F5. Now in SAP, what is the function of F6 key? F6 is for line by line execution. Now in SAP, how we can identify a line? Whenever we have a period or dot at the end, this is identified as a line. So this will act as one line, this will act as one line. So if at this place I am pressing F6, suppose initially this internal table has 0 number of records. Now if I am pressing F6, this part will get executed and it has 1 number of record. Now if I am again pressing F6, this part will get executed and it has again 1 number of record. So at this place F5 and F6 both have the same functions. F5 is for step by step, F6 is for line by line. At these both places our step and line are same, so we can either press any of the key, F5 or F6. Now the question arises, at which place F5 and F6 both behave differently. So at this place we will check, at this place F5 and F6 both will behave differently. We will check that. Now see, our line starts from here and it will ends at here because we have the dot at this position. So if I am pressing F6, the program execution will automatically at this position because this whole will act as one line. So now I am pressing F6. See, our execution is at this point now. Our control is at this point now. So if I am pressing F6, this whole will act as one line and the execution will automatically from this position move from this position to this position. Now I am again exiting from the debugger and we will press F5 key at that point. I am again executing the program, providing the input, executing the program. Going for desktop 3. Now in this I am pressing at these both places F5 and F6 both have the same function, so you can press any of the key to check for the results or to execute them. I am pressing F5. Now at this place, rather than pressing the F5 key, rather than pressing the F6 key, I am pressing F5 key. Now I am pressing F5 key. Now see, whenever I am pressing the F5 key, now I am inside that reusable component. Then inside that reusable component, that is reuse underscore ALV underscore field catalog underscore merge. So because this is a step, now we are debugging the steps. At this place both F5 and F6 have the different functions. If you want to debug this reusable component, you have to press F5 key because this is a step. If you don't want to debug that reusable component, then you have to press F6. Then that whole logic will act as one line. Now I am coming back from this reusable component. Now see we are returning to our original program. Now we will continue this lecture in now we will continue this debugging in the next lecture.